Each week, U.S. Bank brings us stories of inspirational athletes who amaze us.
Allie Williams joins us now with the story of a persevering Fighting Irish soccer player.
Robert, for Hannah O'Connell, the last couple years have thrown one curveball after another. But in spite of each obstacle, her optimism is as bright as ever. Watching Hannah O'Connell run on the soccer field, you'd never guess health issues have almost sidelined her over the years. But the senior center back at Sacred Heart Cathedral has overcome ailments time and time again. In 8th grade, Hannah fell while carrying her dog down the stairs.
I had to take the fall backwards because, precious cargo.
She shook it off, but later in a soccer game, she took a hit she couldn't ignore. After multiple incorrect diagnoses and treatments for months, a CT scan finally showed the problem.
They discovered that I had a bilateral pars stress fracture on the L5 vertebrae in my back. So the physical therapy that I had been doing for 4 months was worsening my condition. And in those 4 months, my back had healed and the bones didn't fuse back together. So I was left with a permanently disjointed L5 vertebrae.
Doctors said her soccer career was over. Her grandfather suggested a holistic approach.
She was a little afraid because of the fracture, but in my way to look at is the soft tissue problem. Is the muscle around the bone maybe get very tight and block the energy flow.
With Dr. Lee saying that there is a chance I could play soccer again, that's when I kind of started buckling down and got a lot more serious about my road to recovery.
A corrective back brace, acupuncture, cupping, and a new physical therapy regimen allowed Hannah to play for the freshman soccer team. The next 2 years, she won CCS titles with varsity.
For the first time in a long time, I felt secure in my back and how I was doing.
But a simple snow trip led to more misdiagnoses and a trip to the emergency room.
She's getting sicker and sicker, and I can just see the weight falling off her, and I was terrified.
It turned out that I had an infectious disease called C. diff that I must have picked up when I was skiing because it hits within 24 hours of coming in contact with it.
Hannah was released from the hospital after 4 nights, but the C. diff suggested further immune problems. She went through an endoscopy where the doctors found a serrated polyp that needed to be removed from her intestines. On top of the physical struggles, Hannah also worked through major depressive disorder.
After going through being diagnosed with depression, I realized how vital communication is and just being vulnerable with people.
Hannah never gave up and was finally able to get back into recovery mode after losing so much weight and muscle. She increased her workload to get ready to compete in her senior year.
When I was talking to Coach Poise, I was basically let's do this. All I have to do is put on a good 20 pounds and get my muscle back. So we did that together.
And you could see her really, despite all that she was going through early in this offseason, knew from day one that she was going to be a major leader in this program.
When you want to talk about a player who's going to do absolutely everything, put her body on the line, she's definitely the player who's going to do that every single time.
And in her final year with the Fighting Irish, she has an optimistic look on everything she has overcome.
It almost everything happens for a reason, because if I were to never have had C. diff, I would have never been scoped. They would have never found the polyp. Who knows, maybe 10 years from now it could have turned into something a lot more serious.
Go, Hannah!
With the strength of family, teammates, friends, and herself, Hannah is ready to take on anything that will come her way. Hannah is strong and healthy, but will continue to return to the hospital for a checkup every 2 years. And fittingly, she plans to major in biology to be able to work in the health field and help others in the future.
Good for her, and she's healthy now, and that is a big deal after everything that she went through.
And to be able to finish her year as a senior so strong is a great way to end her high school career.
Yeah, very meaningful.